but we have historical presence, gardening, but we have Inditex, is a Zara development, and link with University of Alcalá and other places. So how my thesis and the topic of this presentation is how to find solution to involve citizen architects and professionals to create landscapes. And this is the problem facing now, that we are facing now with the social aspect of the COVID crisis and the problem of the investigation and of life of the people. Because we have now, we can see in these images, the flight in April, May of 2020. So we have a big problem to share.
1 minute.
Sorry?
1 minute.
I'm finishing. So I'm trying to introduce here the topic of how to make investigation about local topics without flying in the cities that we are searching for, because now the research that are we making can be changed with the problem of the COVID situation. So you can find here the Laguna of Venezia. You can see the water that normally it's impossible, it's gray, it's dark. And now also the air of Madrid. The perception of the cities changed at the change in the last 2 months. So we don't know how it's going to change in the next years, and so on. So Green City is not a photo that we are making of a city, but is a continuous work of viewing, researching, and try to describe it to green a gray city, a green space.
Thank you, Guido. Thank you very much for your presentation. And now is the time for, sorry, I have to check it, from Alexandra Goreca.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandra,
yes.
The floor is yours.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm Alexandra Gorecka, and I'm a PhD UNESCO chair on ecohydrology and applied ecology in the University of Łódź in Poland. And my research mostly focuses on urban water bodies. And at any kind of urban reservoir, we would probably see some greenery, some water body, but we wouldn't see the main subject of my studies, which is zooplankton. And zooplankton is a small animals inhabiting urban reservoirs that are a key element in freshwater food chains. They enable the energy flow from the producers, which are plants, to higher consumers, for example, fish. And they have a big meaning in terms of maintaining water quality and good water quality, because they are very often filtrators, which means that they feed on small particles of phytoplankton, and therefore they can contribute to reducing the occurrences of algal blooms, which are not only reducing the aesthetic value of the water bodies, but also, and more importantly, they can be toxic. So urban water bodies, as well as any other natural habitats, are subjected to various threats, anthropogenic threats, and one of it's road salts. And it's commonly used in countries such as Poland, which experience rather cold winters, to prevent the icy roads and to maintain the road safety. And as much as it's necessary, it also have led to increased in chloride ions that are present in freshwater ecosystems, and those chloride concentrations are often high enough to be considered very harmful for the freshwater organisms, especially to species of zooplankton. my thesis goals are could be divided in two parts. First part is to assess the condition of 5 urban water bodies that are located in the city of Łódź in Poland by describing the zooplankton species composition, their seasonal fluctuation, breeding dynamic, their ability to adapt to selected water pollutants, mainly road salts. And the second part of my PhD thesis will be focusing on solutions that could help to minimize their harmful effects of the pollutants, such as road salts, on zooplankton. And to implement that, I will focus on phytotechnology, which is usage of plants to reduce the concentrations of pollutants, and I will be mainly focusing on salt-tolerant plants that can help to reduce the harmful chloride concentrations in urban water bodies. And by the end of my doctoral studies, I would like to not only better understand how zooplankton may help to maintain the good water quality in urban reservoirs, but I would also like to implement some nature-based solutions that could help increase the resilience of the freshwater ecosystems in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you very much for your presentation, and thank you for doing in the right time. So now the floor is for Arnoldo Font. Arnoldo?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I am trying to share. Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, so I will start. So my presentation is mostly related to the biotechnological potential of bacteria for the removal of nutrients in contaminated urban rivers. I also work studying at the University of Łódź. And I was just like to tell you that I am a international student from Guatemala, right now doing the thesis here in Europe. So, as my previous colleague mentioned, we are interested in how to recover some of the resources of the city, especially water. And in my case, I am also interested in how to treat the water of the cities, especially when they are being highly contaminated by nutrients. Some of them are expressed over here, nutrient sources that require nitrogen or phosphorus. So the high nutrient load actually comes and they enter the system and eventually end up in lakes, where you can see all of these great quantity of algae that could be harmful for life, including for humans. So to address these problems, we have implemented some of a very long name, of course, but these are sequential sedimentation biofilters that can be implemented above the reservoirs to collect all this water and give some primary treatment. Why do we do this? Because we actually want to lower the nutrient load. We want to control the cyanobacteria and reduce the harmful effects that they produce. So here is a picture of one of those systems. It's actually, they are divided in many different places, but due to the time, I would not like to address exactly the functions that they do, but I want to give you the idea that when the water enters, it passes several different types of zones that they provide an ecological function to remove the water, to remove the nutrients by sedimentation, some geochemical processes, including rocks for the absorption of phosphorus. The nitrification, which is actually removing of nitrogen, and biofiltration zone, the use of plants for uptake of some of those nutrients. And eventually the water returns to the lakes at the end, or the outflow. Here are some pictures that I would like to share with you that are the three systems that we are actually working. And we are, well, they are actually located, two of them are located in the city of Łódź, and one is in the city of Gniezno, which is one of the oldest capitals of Poland. The project is actually right now finished. Most of the experiments are finished, and one of them is, you can actually visit our first publication, which is cited on below of this graph. And I just want to shortly mention some of the best results that we obtained. This is a spatial analysis that we did on the microbial communities that were in the sediments. But the most important, just because of the complexity, is that you can see that the geochemical zones in two of our examples were very different or distantly related from the other zones of the biofilters. And we believe that this is one of the places where we want to focus on how to enhance the microbial activity. Here you can see another map explaining the different colors. The higher the color, the more intensity or activity of microbial communities in the systems. And we did the analysis for different seasons. Two of examples, summer and autumn. So you can see that summer is actually more with color of red. It represents that there's more activity, which of course is related to the temperature. Autumn, where it's more colder, there is less activity of a microbial community during the systems. Of course, again, you can see that the geochemical zones are the ones that are more affected, and they do not develop this great quantity of microbial communities. Due to this, we offer the possibility to use other materials, and we found that, for example, when you use limestone, they could help to attach some of the bacterial communities that can aid in the removal of nutrients in this system. Finally, when we did all the monitoring of the analysis, we tried to isolate some of these bacteria. We came up at least with 3 or 4 strains that were very good in their development or practically in metabolism to remove the nutrients. And one example is to your right, where they were applied in control laboratory experiments. And you can see that through the incubation time of hours, all of these nutrients were practically almost reduced to 0% in control. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that it was clear to understand. I know that it was a little bit fast.
I know, but this is the goal, to try to explain as much as possible and as fast as possible to the audience your work related to the topic. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay.
And yes, the next one after Arnoldo, we have a Pavel Jarosiewicz. Pavel, are you ready? Pavel, we can see your...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your screen. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so I am ready. I can start that now. So hello everyone, my name is Pavel Jarosiewicz. I am also from the University of Łódź, UNESCO Chair in Ecohydrology and Applied Ecology. And I feel obliged right now to explain you in just a few words about the ecohydrology, because these words fascinate me a lot. So ecohydrology is basically about the relationship between ecology and hydrology. So it means how water interacts with the ecological components of the system. And these systems we can understand also by urban areas. So basically what we are facing is that in 2050, the global population of 68% will start living in the cities. So with issues such as climate change, overpopulation, urban sprawl, we can expect a growth of tensions and the quality of life decline by this means. So the basic question is how to green the cities, how to green the cities of future. And as you can look on the pictures, you can see the approach that is proposed by some of the engineers. Let's say this is the techno garden, how they say, and on the right you can see the more green approach based on the ecohydrological profound processes. So processes between water and ecological systems. On the right side, you can see the map of the Łódź city. Łódź city is a very interesting case because the city was under the very rapid industrial development in the early 19th, in the late 19th and early 20th century. And during this time, all of the rivers of the city were so much degraded that people of the city decided to hide them underground. So basically, there is no water visible in the city up to the late 20th century. And then the ideas of rehabilitation, revitalization started. So many questions arise, how to green up the city, how to do this. And ecohydrology was one of the answers. But why ecohydrology? It is because in the cities, the hydrological cycle is very much impaired. It is impaired not only by impermeable surfaces that are collecting vast amounts of water and generating the flash floods, for instance, but also by the pollutants that are accumulated. So we have the pictures like this when we have the green water, which is not playing the basic ecosystem services that are most important in the urban green areas. As also we have a dangerous situations as a flash floods where the city can be under the water. So the idea now is how to bring the cities more greener. And I think now we have two great approaches. One is very much promoted by the United Nations, and I mean this is the nature-based solutions. And the second one is the idea which is now also proposed by the European Commission, which is based on circular economy. So I think the answer now is how to combine them both. And some ideas are growing, like linking sanitation to energy and food security, gray water reuse for irrigation, green roofs used as at providing purified rainwater for the non-consumers usage in the buildings. But how about pollutants in the water? And here is the topic of my PhD, which is the biocare. So in 2018, we have invented, me and my supervisor, we have invented the idea of biocare. As you can see on the picture, these are the small aggregates coated with a different components. And as you can see here, the components are inside the biopolymer. So the idea was basically that we can put this sorbent into the water, remove the pollution, and then, because the biopolymers, they can be removed, we can also use again the pollution. So we are into the circular economy concept. So this idea was awarded with a gold medal during the Concours Lepine International in Paris 2018. And we show them that the efficiency of this material is very high. We can remove up to 90% of phosphates, which are the major cause of eutrophication and biodiversity decline right now. And then this phosphate can be again a fertilizer. So we are closing the gap. I just have finished it. I just have finished the project where we have developed a machine, a device to produce the biocare, and it was already tested in the stream where we have reduced the level of phosphorus. And I did some basic experiments about the implementation of this material to the fertilization. So the results are very optimistic, and I hope this material could be an answer for the more efficient gap closing between the circular economy and nature-based solutions. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And if you have any questions, I'm open.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And we are going to move for the next one is Ela Mierzejewska. Sorry if I don't pronounce well your surname, Ela.
It's fine. It sounds actually quite correct, so it's all fine. Well, but give me a second. I will just
of course
focus right now here. Okay, can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon. My name is Ela Mierzejewska, and I'm also from UNESCO Department of Ecohydrology and Applied Ecology from University of Łódź. And the title of my PhD dissertation is as follows: cucurbits and their secondary metabolites as stimulators of biological remediation of soil contaminated with phenoxyacid herbicides. And since I kind of realized that it sounds a little bit too detailed for today's pitch, and I just want to briefly introduce you to a core concept of my PhD thesis and my work generally. It's plants removal of organic contaminants, and today I want to focus on urban areas. As you could hear on the first slide on the title of my PhD dissertation, I'm focusing more on herbicides. But why to talk about the herbicides when talking about cities? Well, actually, I don't know whether you realize or not, but massive amounts of herbicides, and every year more and more, they are used by city authorities, by private owners of the garden in order to get rid of unwanted weeds from lawns, especially from lawns, to keep them quite nice and pure, and also to get rid of unwanted weeds from water reservoirs. And here the long chain reaction starts. We apply the herbicides either in industrial, urban, or agricultural use. then we have to face a higher level of contaminants in the environment. And then we have to face the toxicological effect on living organisms and eventually the negative effects on human health also. We can see a lot of articles saying that herbicides can exert very negative effects on the behavioral and physiological changes in animals, especially water organisms when talking about phenoxyherbicides. And here comes the legislation, either the prevention or the treatment. And here my work comes to the point. So I'm taking care of the treatment, and especially I'm focusing on nature-based solutions, meaning biological methods, in order to get rid of these residuals and metabolites which can exert the negative effects. So the core concept of my work is actually phytoremediation. So simply using plants for a remedy of the environment, either soil or water. And the point is, when you're working with plants, you have to face the fact that they can be very, very picky. So you have to choose and select the plant species that can deal with high stress level in the environment. And especially when we are talking about the contaminants, it has to be tolerant to certain contaminants. And here comes zucchini, which might be a bit surprising, but here is my model plant, which can be used for the phytoremediation, and I can assure you that it can clean up the most nasty stuff from the environment. And here a bit of science behind. So if we are talking about the biodegradation, meaning the removal and degradation of difficult highly hydrophobic organic contaminants from the environment, biodegradation is very slow in bulk soil, but it's much, much faster when we increase the biodiversity and when we design a plant cover in special spots and hotspots, contaminated hotspots, in a way that it will be enhanced. It can be also enhanced by plant substances which are excreted to the root zone, and also the symbiotic microorganisms which I'm working on. So as you can see, it's quite complicated, but very, very interesting. And what about the applicability of the whole thing? Right now, it's very basic, but I can say, and I'm really brave to say that in the future, it can be, my research can be a basis for the development of biostimulator for removal of contaminants. The other thing, my research serves as a kind of increasing awareness, but that plant cover with selected multi-purpose plants can serve as a good zone for removing the contaminants also from city zones. And it's a massive, massive and a great model for scientific research, and I can do quite a lot of things. And of course, it guarantees the effectiveness over the current alternatives in terms of residuals of organic pollutants removal. It can ensure the adaptation to EU law, so we have the legislation checked. And what is most important, I can assure you that working in academy and university, it really made me quite sure that increasing awareness on the role of plants in the urban and agricultural areas is quite crucial in this case, because the bigger the biodiversity, the easier it is to deal with the contaminants with the negative effect of them. Thank you for your attention, and if you want to get some details on the research, I uploaded a presentation on Microsoft Teams, and here are the articles which are considering actually zucchini, 2,4-D MCPA and the phenoxyherbicides and their removal from environmental matrices. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ella, for your presentation. Very interesting as well, like your competitors. So thank you very much. And now it's time for the next picture. Is Dimitrios Kyriakou. Dimitrios, are you ready? Hello, Dimitrios. Can you hear me, Dimitrios? Well, I think that is not ready. So if it's not ready, we are going to jump to the next speaker. Is Carlos Cruz, and when Carlos will finish, we will try again with Dimitrios. So Carlos, are you ready? Sorry for the inconvenience to shift your presentation. Are you ready?
Maybe yes, because I've got problems with the internet connection, but okay, you can see the slides.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
We can see.
So good afternoon. My name is Carlos. The aim of this brief presentation is to give a general view of the PhD. I'm working on the Department of Electronics at the University of Alcalá. My research is focused on the energy efficient resources area, and my research proposal is entitled Pilot System for Sustainable Energy Efficient Community. So think for a minute, how would be your life if you could control all the electronic devices you have at home? Or imagine if you have a model based on energy saving that is used to monitor residential communities in order to reallocate energy consumption. So that's basically the general topic of my research. The first part, I will talk about the introduction and the context of energy efficient. After that, I will highlight what I consider one of the most important parts of my research, the methodology, and finally I will present some results and future research. Why energy efficient community? Because we can be energy efficient and sustainable. We reduce energy consumption from fossil sources, and finally we reduce CO2 emission. The proposed model is so in this picture. And the main goals are the sustainable by design new services for sustainable energy, cooperation, where consumers cooperate for global purposes in an innovative demand response environment system, and safety from design, a secure system architecture and implementation from this design. I will show the model description where the consumer is a user equipped with energy consumption scheduler or energy manager on a portable device, the utility, a set of energy supply, and the main actor is the aggregator, who is in charge of reallocate the demand. On the right, you can see the global scheme of the design with the data flow and communication. The main results are implemented in a very simple and cost-effective technology deployment, and the communication is performed over different protocols like MQTT. The aggregator is implemented with new efficient algorithms, and we have feasible computational and communication costs over these efficient platforms. And at the end, we plan to have realistic estimation of the demand and establish different identification patterns by artificial intelligence techniques, and validate this model at the living labs like Birmingham Simula Research Lab. So this is the general topic of my research. Thank you so much for your attention, and you're welcome to some questions.
Thank you, Carlos, for your presentation. And well, this is the last call for Dimitrios. If you are ready, Dimitrios Kyriakou, are you here? Dimitrios? No? Well, I think that this is the last presentation, and perhaps now is time to hear and to learn from the business sector. So I would like to invite now to give some words or some presentation to the representative from the Pheno Horizon, Maciej Kowalczyk. Maciej, are you here?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, so I have few information, and I will show you, or try to show you a presentation. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Maybe I should start from the beginning. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Maciej, we cannot see now the presentation. Perhaps you swap something?
Okay. Once again.
Not yet. now. We can see.
Okay, great. Okay, so a couple, few information about the Pheno Horizon. We are a group of people who are working together to develop a good living space in cities for over 10 years. And we are based in Poland, in Łódź, actually in the center of Poland. So good information is that we have a little cooperation with Eco-Hydrology Center. So I'm happy that I hear that the Polish people are here and in this international meeting. What is important to us is supporting local government in the current challenge and showing them the possibilities that result from new trends like water management with eco-hydrology idea or circular economy idea, or new trends in technical uses in good solution with environment. Since 2016, we are in the international project Repair, which is financing by Horizon 2020. And we also have another international project from Interreg project about water drive. It's a project about Baltic Sea region. Our last three projects are Bzura Circularity Center. It's an agreement of the local governments to implement the principles of circular economy in waste management. And Be-Water, which I will show you more detail, a project of a circular district in the city of Piotrków Trybunalski, recreational district. And the third things what we are working right now is the city of Opoczno, which is prepare a local development plan, master plan, including the trends what we are talking about, also in today meeting. And now we can start. I will show you the more details about Be-Water Water Hub. It was a project which take us. Which we create last year, and we involve 9 partners around Europe. It was also the city from France, Vienna, and a couple business partners in this project also, because the project was prepared for the Urban Innovation Action call about the circular economy. And this is the agenda about our work. We start in May with discussion and workshops. As you see, we wanted to know how the condition and design guidelines we can use to create this special part of city. And we create 2 different workshops. On the one we talk about the guidelines, and on the second one we start to create a concept. After this we decide together with city to implement the Living Labs methods to develop project in details, and in this Living Labs, we create 3 meetings, as you see. The first was about to define the problems and pre-development the implementations. The second was about we showed our problems and our goals to these partners, and they give us a feedback, and we create this and we work about this feedback in this second workshop to create some decision what we can do together for this special area in Piotrków Trybunalski. And after this we create the last workshop to prepare a detailed schedule and milestones, and also a schedule of the money which we have to spent to create this area in a good way. So this you see couples of photos from the workshops. And we create the special maps you see. This is our area with Bugaj Resort. And on the end, we create some details, concept how to use this area and what local authorities should give from our concept and what we should to build in this area in the real life. And it is very the people which are on our workshops are very interesting and very pleasant of these ideas, and as far as we know, they really want to build this idea in real. And for our for the principles what we create, as you see, we try to think a lot of different challenge, like challenging the water and green energy sources, also sustainable and recycled materials we want to use on whole of this area. And also it was a big challenge to clean the water, so a lot of information which we have actually from for example from one of the PhD today, we know about this and we want to use it to clean the water. And also the very important thing is that we involve a lot of citizens. We engage this community to our living labs. They was there also, and they create some ideas for the community center, enabling interaction, community building, to create the educational part of this idea. So most important thing what was in this call, it was about how to implement the circular economy during the water, using the water idea. So as you see, we thought about storm collection, renaturalization, biodiversity, water saving, citizens reaction zone, eco-education, and reusing treated water. So I think on this project we manage a lot of ideas how to reuse the water in real life. So right now we are working about another city, which is Opoczno. It's also near in the center of Poland, and if anybody wants from the PhD people who are listening us today, they want to connect with us to create a new idea for this area like city Opoczno, we are ready to get some information. I'm not sure if I will just send by email information to me, because you can connect directly to me if anybody wants to make some impact on this next city. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maciej. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. Very attractive project. In fact, the water is always a big challenge and a big problem for all type of cities. So I think that the possibility to scale your approach or even to adapt to new scenarios is a fancy idea, and absolutely it's possible. Thank you very much. So we have just a few minutes. Maciej, I don't know if you have some question, or anyone from the audience and have some question for some of our pitchers related to her research. Just 5 minutes or 7 minutes we have for discuss. In case of any question, it could be interesting from the audience or for Maciej, like the experts from the non-academia sector.
I have actually a question to Arnoldo Font, because I don't catch the moment where his The idea is connecting with business. So maybe if Arnoldo.
We can wait for him because he had some troubles with computer as far as I know. So I will, maybe there's another question, so I can try to get him and find.
Okay, so I have the same question to Guido.
Guido?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great.
Hey. Yeah,
okay.
If I catch the question is how to relate my research with business. Sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think it is a very big and challenging question because I came from Italy, where there is a very big problem and opportunity to have some public project about renovation of green areas that came from the municipality, but from the citizens. So it's very important how to involve the citizens and the enterprises and local hub to create projects that the bank or foundation or municipality can finance in it. So it is a challenge. So it is very, very challenging because municipalities don't have the money, time, and technical knowledge to a lot of times. Someone yes, but not all the cities. So normally the city about 200,000 citizens have more problem than Madrid or Milan or Brussels or cities like this. So how to the challenge is how to involve this municipality in European project or local project or national projects. And this is not so simple.
Thank you.
So thank you for your answer. So as far as I understand, it still have to be managed. The idea to connect is not clear. Yeah.
No, because is in I don't know in other countries, but in I understand that in Spain, in Italy, our history, our land management, and our catastro, our rules, a lot of time are not able to let flow the participation and the business approach that is short in time and in founding recovery.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I don't know if Arnoldo is ready for now. Ella, you know?
I am here, yes.
Okay, Arnoldo.
Okay, so just to clarify, because I didn't understand the question, I'm sorry.
What is the what kind of opportunity you see between your PhD problem and challenge and business sector?
Oh God, okay, the challenge in the business sector. Well, you gotta understand that this NBS.
Yeah, because on your presentation, I can't catch this. Maybe I just missed something, but if you can clearly.
I understand what the application would be here, but good idea for the business sector would be also that some of these systems could be also included into patents, and this could be a part of how to apply some of these combined ecological systems and prepare some treatment in strategic areas where the city mostly needs the treatment. One. And the second one would be the bacteria. Right now we have some good prospects. They are potential because we still are doing some tests, but this eventually could also become a part of a patent and then be applied in several places where they could be needed for the treatment of water, and also increment the business in this topic. I don't know if this clarifies a little bit what you were asking.
Yeah, okay. Now I know that it's still open doors actually for business. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I know that this is a very interesting discussion and there are a lot of open questions between the Maciej and the audience, but I regret to say that we need to finish because the other session is still waiting for us. First of all, I want to say thank you to all pitchers. I think that you can find different views about very hot problem like green cities and sustainability. Of course, for all the cities is a very important topic, and each of you has addressed your research or your PhD thesis in very interesting topics for a new green city, a new green life. As well, Maciej, thank you very much for your presentation, for your time. I would like just to give you some quick issues. So the Maciej and other three members of this audience, we will evaluate your pitches. How do you present? How is that attractive? How is that related with the topic of the session? So Maciej, please send me your evaluation by email when you can, because the other members have already sent me this information. And in the closing ceremony on Wednesday, we will announce the winners for that session. And finally, just one thing, sorry, because she's calling me for the next session. I would like to inform you that the PhD project is more than this event. So we have developed a platform to connect different researchers around Europe. So if you are interested, please register in the platform. In fact, I think that the system will send you with your email an invitation to join to this initiative, to be in touch with other researchers in your field. I know, for example, I can, for the pictures related to bacteria and water, for example, University of Alcalá has in the facilities a research center only for water. So it's the research for water. So it could be a nice idea to approach with them and to discuss and to exchange information and research with them in order to find more interesting and more attractive things. Thank you very much for your time. And well, if you are interested in the next session, please connect with the other room for the last session for pitches. So thank you very much again, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.